I'm Jackie Notch, and I am here to go over session 3 of Compassion Camp and work on talking about our neighbors and what our neighbors look like and breaking down barriers between us and our neighbors. Crossing barriers means overcoming obstacles that might stop us from seeing, understanding, and helping each other. Through Jesus' parable about the Samaritan, you explored the question, who is my neighbor? And what it means to become a neighbor. You also witnessed how compassion can move through barriers people may have constructed, even if doing so might feel risky, unpopular, or hard. You will discover how showing compassion to anyone who needs it is being a neighbor. What do you think of when you hear the word neighbor? Is it your best friend who lives down the street? The elderly couple who lives down the hall? The family who lives down the road? A lot of us think about that those are our neighbors, but in the parable that Jesus talked about the Samaritan, who does Jesus think of when he uses the word neighbor? Jesus uses this parable to teach us that our neighbors are more than just the people who live next to us. Our neighbors could be anyone that we meet in the entire world. And that's a little overwhelming sometimes, especially for younger people. But yeah, anybody that you come in contact with, they're really your neighbor. And especially in Jesus's mind. So let's keep that in mind. Today we're going to create a compassion spinner. And it'll talk about us and our neighbors and how we really are intertwined, and it's anybody that we think of. It's not just people who live next to us. So for this activity, you're going to need your activity page, which is with the 2 people and the 2 hearts. You're going to need crayons, markers, paints, any kind of coloring utensils. You're going to need tape and or glue, scissors, and a paper straw or a wooden dowel. Okay, so first of all, look at your compassion spinner activity page. So the whole page, and notice 2 people and 2 hearts. And then there's a barrier in between the 2 of them. So pick one of these people, it doesn't matter which one, and they're gonna be you. So you will color them or paint them to look like yourself. And then the other person is going to be your neighbor. So whoever you think about your neighbor, whether it's your best friend or somebody on TV that you look up to, or just somebody, maybe it's Jesus, maybe it's just anybody, whoever you think of when you think of neighbor, that's going to be the other person. And then you'll also color the 2 hearts. So this might take just a little bit. So if you want to pause your video, go ahead and do that while you color, and then come on back when you're done, okay? Okay, welcome back. So hopefully you've had time to make the 2 people on here as unique as you want to, especially the one that's you. That's very unique. So what we're going to do now is fold the page in half right along that line in between the 2. They call it the barrier. So fold it with the 2 people facing outward. And then with the scissors, cut along the line at the top and the line at the bottom so that you're just kind of trimming off that excess paper. Once you're done with that, you are going to open the page again and lay it flat with the people facing down. And then, let's see. Then you're going to place your dowel or your straw in the middle of either side. It doesn't matter which side, about 3/4 of the way up. So you're going to place it there And it might be quicker if you use tape. And you're just gonna take a few pieces of tape and you're gonna tape over that dowel or the straw. So maybe do it way at the top and then way at the bottom, because you're gonna be moving this around, so you want it to stay. So it's gonna look like that when you're done. Then you take the other half that's just kind of flapping and you just cover it. So cover the dowel and then take more tape and put one at the top just to close it. So you put it and then fold it over so that it closes it nice and tight. And do that a few places along the side, and then maybe even on the bottom too. So maybe four or five pieces of tape along the whole thing should be good. So there, when it almost looks like a big sucker. So when it's done like that, you are on one side and your neighbor's on the other, and then all you have to do is put it between your hands like this, well, and then just spin it. And the barriers are gone. It's just like one, you know, you're just two of a kind right there, spinning like crazy. So that's your compassion spinner, all done. Thank you much. See you next week.